Hi everyone, my name is Adrian Sinclair. I'm one of the technical leads here at Infotecs. In the next 15 minutes or so, we're going to take you through a demonstration of each of the components of the VipNet solution. Let's start with the VipNet client, and you can see here in the VipNet client, you have a list showing all the hosts you have access to. One very unique attribute about the VipNet client and the VipNet VPN solution is that the VipNet client utilizes virtual IP addresses. And what that means is that, for instance, wherever I may connect, say for instance, if I connect at a Starbucks or at a hotel or home or at in my corporate network, my real IP address may change, but because we utilize a virtual IP addressing, my virtual IP address will remain the same. So that allows me to be uniquely identified no matter where I may connect. So that pretty much allows me to connect seamlessly no matter what medium I may be using. For instance, if I was using Wi-Fi and I changed over to another Wi-Fi access point, or for that matter, if I plugged into my Ethernet cable or my 3G Wi-Fi card, I would still be connected. And the awesome part is I don't have to re-authenticate with my VPN password or token. So once I log in on my machine, that is the only time there's any interaction. I could configure it that way where there isn't necessarily a login. It could be seamless or hidden from the user. Integrated in the VipNet client is also several collaborative tools. For instance, we have a chat instant message applet embedded in the VipNet client. So I can send an instant message, a chat message, to any host that I have a link to. So I could request like a financial forecast and send it over to our administrator. And what's great about the business mail application is that I can, one, adhere to EDI, electronic data interchange, and I could send encrypted emails that, say for instance, email doesn't need to traverse through our Exchange server where our support staff has access to the Exchange EDB database. And say I wanted some A-level executives needed to send a communique as a CFO to the CEO, and there's no need to send it to, or because of whatever privacy reasons, they want to send it securely. So they can utilize the business mail as a means to send that encrypted message. Say for instance, if I was generating a report and I needed to send that report to 400 users, or for that matter, 1,000 users, I can drop that report in a predetermined folder, and that report will be then distributed to all those users that I so deem fit or have access to in my link. On the administrative side of the VipNet Office Suite is the VipNet Manager. The Manager is primarily for simple and small networks for creating keys, creating links. You can use your Manager to create links between clients, between sites. So you can create links from site to sites to client to client. And the VipNet Office Suite, of course, allows you to create clients for Linux, clients for Windows, clients for Android, as well as clients for OS X by means of IPsec. The keys are upgraded and managed by this network administrator software. The VipNet Network Manager is very useful, intuitive, and you can see how easily you can create links between disparate networks, clients, and hosts. And the beautiful part, the keys are remotely distributed and updated. Here we have the VipNet State Watcher, which is our monitoring system, which provides detailed information about each host on the VipNet network, whether or not that host has a VipNet client installed. Information such as disk space, resources, network interfaces, events, and critical alerts. For each host, logs are generated from the event history. And the awesome part, again, VipNet plays well with a variety of different network manufacturers. So if it supports SNMP, we can also monitor via SNMP. In the VipNet State Watchers, you can set up alerts to be sent out via SMS, email, or audio alert. You can define several levels of notifications for critical warning, for standard, for geographical, based on location, whether it be stateside or national, international clients, wherever they may be located. You can also use the online maps to view hosts in your topology. So that was a brief overview of the VipNet State Watcher. So let's jump on over to our VipNet Policy Manager. So the VipNet Policy Manager allows you to use groups and templates to distribute policies on your VipNet network. The VipNet Policy Manager gives you granular control over your VipNet network. You can manage by protocol, you can manage by interface, you can manage by template. You can create a template to filter traffic by IP, for instance, filter traffic by ICMP, or various other protocols, ICMP, IGRP, and you can filter traffic based on these protocols. Or you can create a schedule. So you create a schedule, say for instance, for your engineers who are consultants, and you only want these guys to have access from Monday through Friday, and you want the traffic to be filtered and all other traffic to be stopped. So now you can create a VipNet policy to distribute to those particular users. You can filter by IP address range, subnet, a group of IP addresses, and or interface. All automatically updated via the VipNet client. Say for instance you wanted to block Facebook. You can block Facebook or any social media for that matter by creating a template that could block by URL, DNS, IP address, even by VipNet hostname. And here you have a very powerful and intuitive, scalable tool that you can create templates or departments for, say for instance, your New York office or your art department. So now I can create the appropriate group and distribute that policy just to that particular group. Next up we have here our coordinator, VipNet coordinator, and this is the Windows version. And of course the coordinator is available in different platforms. We have the coordinator HWVA, which is a virtual appliance that could be used on hypervisor or VMware. Also, we have a coordinator hardware, which you see here before you is a Windows version, which again, our software is very scalable, and you can install this on Windows 7 or Windows 2008 or 2012. You can use pretty much any operating system. It's very intuitive and very seamless to integrate into your network. The coordinator is very useful. It sends the updates of IP addresses. It has multiple functions. It's a SIP gateway. It is a proxy server. It is the tunneling gateway. You can configure it to protect sites that, for instance, you have workstation or hosts that don't have the VipNet client installed. You can install a coordinator at the edge of that network, and you can protect all the traffic that's behind it. So basically it's a gateway from site to site, client to site, and I mentioned it was also a SIP server and a proxy server. And we have different coordinator hardware that are scalable for different network sizes, from a small office all the way to an enterprise solution. So here we have the Linux-based version of the coordinator. And this is our VipNet command line, again, which is Linux based. And just like the VipNet coordinator for Windows, it is also the server for distributing virtual IP addresses. It provides a proxy server. It's a tunneling server and also a firewall embedded inside of the coordinator. Also, it provides failover server and just protects your VipNet network. That concludes our demo, and thank you very much for your attention. At this time, we'll be addressing questions in the queue, and we would like to thank you for attending. Please look for follow-up emails with presentation materials.